passion for Nottinghamshire life.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Are you a shy person? Do you blush when you meet strangers, feel worried about talking to people, even panicky, maybe, in social situations? I mentioned earlier on, that was me. Go back to sort of my 17, 18 kind of time, doing A-levels, and I was probably one of the shyest people you would ever meet, and yet here I am. So how do you turn yourself around from being someone who would blush in situations where I was in a room full of people I didn't really know, wouldn't really say anything to anybody in a room where I didn't really know the people? You just have to kick yourself up the bum and get on with it, which is pretty much what I did. I wanted to be in the media, and the moment I'd made that decision, being shy was not an option. So I just had to sort it out and move on and tell myself that I needed to be more confident. And slowly over time, it's worked. It really has. I think probably it's different, though, for different people. And this weekend, there is a shy convention in Nottingham. 30 volunteers have signed up to be coached out of their shyness. BBC Radio Nottingham, Sarah Julian, who's not very shy, has been finding out how this will work. You're probably the least shy person I would know.
No, I've never been shy. No, I didn't realise that you were shy there. That's really interesting. Didn't know that you used to be shy. I can't imagine that. No, I've always been my mum describes me as a front row girl ever since I was little. So no, never been shy. I'm here in an arts studio. This is in Snunton. It's an old Victorian factory with high windows and ceilings, and now home to galleries and studios. And this is where the Shy convention is happening, and it will feature a Turner Prize winning artist who's called Gillian Wearing, and she's actually shy herself. Why are they doing this? Matthew Chesney is director of Backlit Arts, and I should say Nicola Harness is here as well. She's one of the shy volunteers who's very brave. I'll talk to her in a moment. So, Matthew, a shy convention, what is it?
It's an opportunity for people to come together that are quite shy, and they can boost their confidence and express themselves with creative writing.
Why would they want to do that?
Well, I think it's about losing your inhibition and feeling confident, and in the evening they'll be performing like a personal karaoke with music of their creative writing.
They're doing what?
Karaoke, a personal karaoke, so it's a chance for people to kind of feel more comfortable in a public setting.
You've got shy people together and you're making them do karaoke.
That's right, yeah. Gillian Wearing is.
She's the artist then. How is she involved? Because she's a very well-known artist.
Well, we won a competition to bring Gillian to Nottingham for the event, and she's notoriously quite shy, so it's something she's always felt quite passionate about, and it's kind of now part of her work.
Is there anything wrong with being shy? Can it be a good thing?
No, I think it's raised a lot of discussions about what's shy, what's introvert, but I think, some of the best actors are shy, aren't they, notoriously as well? So I think it just depends how you feel socially with people, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Nicola is one of the people who've signed up for it. Nicola Harness, good morning.
Morning.
So how does being shy affect you?
It's not fun. It makes me struggle with things like work when I'm on the phones, in my personal life. So like with my friends and stuff and my family, it stops me from being able to kind of be me and be who I want to be. And
what about the karaoke? Does that just feel excruciatingly terrifying?
Pretty much, yeah.
For me, and I'm not shy. Jim is one of the people who's going to help coach these people out of shyness. Now, he's a mouthy poet, so you're not shy. How are you going to do this?
Well, I mean, I sort of, in a way, I am quite shy. But when it comes to writing, which is how I've often found my voice, I feel like I'm in a kind of a room where I can almost completely be myself. So my workshops will be about sort of uncovering who people are and just celebrating that on the page, rather than feeling like it's something they have to apologise for or even explain away, just embrace that and make it kind of interesting and engaging. And I think it's going to be a really important experience for people to just feel like they can be shy, and it can be a really positive thing and actually can impact a lot of people by saying it's okay to be whoever you are, essentially.
Okay, well, we'll learn a bit more about this through the morning and try and put some of those techniques to the test with a challenge coming up later in the show.
Oh, okay, right. Well, we'll find out what the challenge is a little later. I think, to be honest, it was much of a challenge just talking on the radio, really, for someone who is shy. So you take someone who's so shy they need to go to a shyness conference and then say, hey, come on the radio, speak to thousands of people at breakfast time and have a chat with Sarah Julian. And I thought Nicola was very brave just to get that far. That just shows she is willing. She is driving this forward herself, which is what I was saying a few minutes ago. You can overcome shyness I did it by kicking myself up the bum, basically, and saying you can't do that. If you want to be in the job that you're in, if you love the idea of doing the job that you're in, you can't be shy. And that's effectively what happened. It wasn't overnight. It took work, but eventually you become a bit more confident in what you're saying. And actually, I think in radio, it probably helps that you can't see the audience. I did a bit of stand-up comedy once. It was for children in need. And actually where you can see an audience and they can answer back, and I know people text and answer back on this show, which is always good fun, but actually when they're in the same room and you see your audience, that's very different, I think, to doing a radio show, where in my mind I'm communicating with just you. There might be thousands and thousands of people listening to this show. I'm just communicating with you when I talk. Yeah, you. That's how it works for me. So I don't see it as, a mass of people in front of me. If you have managed to overcome shyness yourself, how did you do it? Was there a technique that you used? And maybe you've got a story about how debilitating shyness actually was in your younger years. 0155934 3434, and when you text NOTS plus your message to 81333. Let's head back to BBC Radio Nottingham's Sarah Julian, who's got a bit of a challenge for a shy person today. Good morning.
Hello, it's enough of a challenge being live on the radio, really, isn't it? But we're going to push it even further. We're just around the corner, actually, from where you've been talking about. We're in Sneinton at an art centre called Backlit. It's in a former Victorian factory and now home to artists and studios. And on Saturday, it's going to be home to a karaoke session. You can come along and watch 30 shy people perform karaoke. Why on earth would they want to do that? Well, they want to overcome their shyness, and they've volunteered for this. And one of them is Nicola Harness. Morning.
Morning.
So you've been telling us a bit about your shyness and how it affects you. So what would you say is the most difficult thing?
Probably like with work. So like in my professional life, because I work at Eon on the phones, and it's difficult to kind of talk to customers, and then with social life as well, it's just really hard to be myself and. Kind of talking to my friends and my family. And
have you tried things in the past to sort of help with that?
I've always tried to throw myself into situations, but it never seems to work out. It's like I always end up having this completely different persona. It's like my little coping mechanism.
What do you worry about?
Mostly sort of like upsetting people, really, or saying something stupid, or something that people aren't really going to be interested in. So it's kind of for not wanting to make myself look stupid or not upsetting people, really.
And is it different, shyness as a thing? I see I've never suffered from shyness, but is it different to quietness, being quiet or an introvert?
I think so, yeah, because it's with shyness, it's not something that can be controlled ever, but with quietness, I believe that it's more about like people can. It's like they choose when to be quiet at times.
Well, as if it's not enough of a challenge talking live on BBC Radio Nottingham this morning, we've got another challenge because we're talking about markets. And to stand on a market, you've got to be quite brave and shout out and shout your wares. So I'm game to have a go at that. Are you?
Only if you do it with me.
Go on then.
Well, this could be interesting. Great that she wants to have a go at that, I think, considering the description you've just heard about how shyness affects Nicola. To say that she is prepared to stand on a market and shout at strangers, wow. So how will it work? Will it have a long-term effect as well? More in the next hour on BBC Radio Nottingham. And after the news, going to hear more about the multi-million-pound project to revive the fortunes of Hucknall.
A passion for Nottinghamshire life.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
I've been talking about shyness as well today, and you've been hearing about the Shy Convention, which is taking place in Nottingham this weekend. And quite a number of people who feel that shyness is quite debilitating to them have signed up because they want to overcome it. They want to turn it around. I was saying earlier on, actually, I used to be quite shy. When I first started in radio, I wouldn't say boo to a goose, I really wouldn't. I found it very difficult to talk to people I didn't know. I would blush whenever I was in a group of people. And some of that's about self-confidence. And the way I overcame it was just to kick myself up the bum and say, you can't carry on like that. If you want a job in this kind of area, you've got to be outspoken. You've got to be prepared to say what you think. You've got to be prepared to say what you think in front of other people. And so you just force yourself to do it. That's what I did anyway. And slowly, over time, that's made a difference. And here I am. But maybe for others, it's not quite so easy. And you were hearing the story of Nicola earlier on. Nicola, I think, is really brave, though. She's been prepared to tackle this by taking part in a bit of an experiment later where we've asked her if she fancies being a market trader, as we've been talking about markets today, and shouting at total strangers. Will she do that? She says yes, she will. Well, there is the will to turn things around. And you heard just how painfully shy she is when she was describing some of the experiences that she's had. So find out how she gets on in the next hour of the show before 9 o'clock. A couple of people have been in touch about this whole shyness thing, though. Ray in the Meadows says that he used to be terribly shy as a kid. He says you just have to find your own way, your own niche to get over it. And one of the things that he, I think, has found in inspiration is the story of Mahatma Gandhi. He says he was very shy, but he overcame that by taking something up that he absolutely believed in, the independence of India. Another one here as well, from Mansfield. My shyness showed up in a pub. When I was young, I would just look into my beer because I was unable to look at anyone else around me. I was born a decade too late in a good family. And it was a mistake, I think. You try to justify your existence for many years, and then you end up saying, right, I need to just prove everyone wrong. Thank you for that. 0115 934 3434. You can text NOTS plus your message to 81333. Right, let's talk shyness, because you are going to be hearing a little later on from BBC Radio Nottingham's Sarah Julian, who is out at the moment with someone who is so shy that she's signed up to go to this shyness conference at the weekend to try to overcome it. I would say, from her description earlier on, you could describe her shyness as being debilitating, and yet she has been prepared to, number one, talk on the radio about it this morning. That says a lot, doesn't it? Number two, she's now prepared to go to a market and just shout in a sales pitch to random strangers. Now, that's got to be something impressive to do. So how will she get on doing that? Find out in just a bit. And you've been sharing your experiences of shyness as well today. In fact, Sue's there. Morning, Sue.
Hello, Andy.
Tell me your story.
Well, I was listening to the radio. I'd not long retired, a few years ago, and they were wanting stories about a funny holiday story, a souvenir that brought back. So I rang in and told my story about some holy water, and the lovely gentleman said, "Are you prepared to come on radio and talk about it?" And I said, "No, before I do that, I'll be in my coffin. I will not speak on radio." So I said, "I can't speak to 5,000 people." So he said, "You won't be."
It's more than that.
50,000?
That'll do, yeah.
I'm glad I didn't know. And he said, "You won't be speaking to them. You'll be speaking to Andy, and Andy alone." So when you spoke this morning and said, "I'm speaking to you alone," it brought it back. But I then went on, and I thought that it would be like bullet-style questions, one after the other, and I would go completely AWOL. But no, you just waited. And I have to say, that changed how I felt about it completely. I came off the phone, and I'd done it, and it was okay. So I've been on twice since with stories.
So you saying you overcame your shyness because of this radio show, really?
I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
And has that, I mean, was you shy elsewhere in life, or was it just, talking on the radio that you were worried about?
It was mainly on the radio, but it was in public places, and when I had to keep up, I don't know, these confident people seem to have a lot of energy, and I'm not confident like that still, but I'm able to do something like this, speaking on radio, which I could never have done before. I've been in for a pantomime since, and sung a solo.
Wow.
And I've worked with deprived people and talked about that, and I've worked at Brewhouse Yard Museum and gone in for costumed interpretation, implementing a school lesson from Victorian times for the visitors.
And you'd never done that stuff before?
I would never have done that. It's just your lovely team were so encouraging and brought me on, and then it wasn't the nightmare I thought it would be. So I've just never looked back, and I recommend anybody to do what you said. Kick yourself at the bum and get out there. But there are some kind and gentle and lovely people out there. They're not out to do you down.
Sue, what a great story. Thank you for that. Sue Arnold on BBC Radio Nottingham, who overcame her shyness by calling this show, which is amazing. So lovely to hear that. Hear a little bit more about what happens with the experience of that one woman becoming a market trader in just a bit. Thank you. You're with BBC Radio Nottingham, and this morning you've been hearing about a shy convention. It's to help shy people overcome their problems and become more confident. It's taking place in Nottingham this weekend. And you heard one of the participants earlier on the show. Well, Sarah Julian has come up with a bit of an idea to try to bring her out of her shell a bit, and it involves shouting at strangers in the street. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, yeah, it seemed like a good idea, this. We're on just behind Exchange Arcade, a market stall with Jason Cox, and he's been shouting out his wares since he was, 12 years old. It's a family stall, this, and he's selling fruit. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, do a bit of shouting out for us,
Come on, anywhere you like. Bananas, plums, seedless grapes, all a pound. Pick where you like, any bowl, any bonnet. Anywhere a pound.
Oh, it's not finished. Do you have to be brave to do that?
Not really.
Could a shy person do it?
Maybe not.
Let's see. Because Nicola is here. Nicola Harness is one of the volunteers who's attending the Shy Convention in Nottingham, the first of its kind at the weekend. And she was telling you earlier about being shy, and you were saying, Nicola, that you work in a call centre, so that's quite difficult, and you sometimes shake when you're on the phone to people. You find social situations difficult and meeting new people. That's why you're involved in the Shy Convention. So here we are, live on the radio at a fruit stall. How are you feeling?
A bit nervous, but I'm going to field a fit and just do it anyway.
You're going to go for it?
Yeah.
I have to say, Nicola's not practiced this. We did say, didn't we, Jason, you can have a practice, but no, she said, I'll wait and I'll do it live on the radio. OK, do it one more time then, Jason.
Anywhere you like, any bag, any punnet, a pound. Pick where you like, it's all £1.
Do you want to have a go?
Do I have to say all that because I missed half of it?
You can say what you like as long as it's fruit related.
OK. Okay. Buy bananas, only a pound.
Yes, well done.
I now feel like I'm going to pass out, but I did it.
I could see the fear on your face. How do you feel now?
Shaking, but okay, yeah, that was good.
Well done. Well done. Matthew Chesney is here. He's the artistic director of Backlit, the arts organisation, putting on this Shy Convention. How did she do?
I think she did really well. I'm really, really proud. I think it's also a great opportunity that she's taken and ran with it and done really well.
Actually shaking. Jim is a poet. He's one of the people who's going to be coaching the shy volunteers out of their shyness. What did you make of that?
I thought that was amazing. I think it's important that Nicola doesn't underestimate what a big thing it is to do that, and the fact that she's already done that before even coming to the workshops has got me very excited about what she's going to do.
Exactly, you've not even done it yet. So what kind of tricks are you going to be teaching them on Saturday?
Well, a lot of it's about just trying to dig into what they want to say on the page and then making them feel like it's important and celebrate that. So we'll be writing about things the theme is love, so we'll be looking at things that Nicola might be interested in to do with love and then getting them on the page.
Not bananas. You're not doing.
If you want to write about bananas, I am not going to stop that. That's absolutely fine, Nicola. Go for it.
And this is going to culminate in karaoke. Now, that could be even worse than shouting out on the street. But there's an interesting twist for the shy people at the karaoke, Matthew.
Yeah, we're having personal karaoke, so participants will be able to perform to new original music. And we're inviting everyone to come. It's at 6:30 on Saturday. Come in fancy dress. It's Halloween. And be part of the fun.
And if you're really shy, you don't actually have to see the audience.
No, we've got a curtain, so if people want to stand behind the curtain so you can just see their feet, they can do that if they like as well.
You won't need to do that now, Nicola.
I might still do that. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you very much for being part of this morning. Thank you for being so honest, and it's been great. Lovely to meet you.
You too, thank you.
Now, Sarah, she did say she'd only do it if you did it as well, and I noticed you didn't do it.
No, I didn't do it, did I?
So you got out of that one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I could do if you want me to.
How much are the bananas?
How much are the bananas?
Pound a bag.
Everything's a pound.
Come on
Everything's
then,
a pound.
give it a go.
Everything's a pound. Come and get your bananas, grapes, figs, everything a pound. Don't be shy. Give it a try.
There you go. Sarah
Jason gave me
Julian.
that line.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
You have a future, should we ever dispense of your services. Sarah Julian on BBC Radio Nottingham.